Hi everybody, welcome to Big OGGIE Golf. Welcome back to Hendriksen Golf Club. Yes, we are in Devon again. I've driven 100 miles plus to go and see Dan Hendriksen. Dan Hendriksen is currently on the camera. Thank you, Dan, for doing that as well. We have been doing various lessons of late. This one, I'm just afraid. It's just fearful. This is my nemesis, and as everyone knows, it's bunkers. This is not going to be good, Dan. This could be carnage. We shall see what happens. So it's fly on the wall video as usual, and we're going to train. It'll be very good. Okay, Dan, what are we going to do?
Right, John, tell me what is going on.
What is going on is I have a complete fear of bunkers.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
Fairway bunkers, no problem. Love a fairway bunker because I can hit the ball. Yeah.
So clipping the golf.
I can hit them really well.
Okay.
In fact, I quite love fairway bunkers.
Yeah.
But bunkers near greens,
yeah,
just can't do it. I either hit the ball and they fly into the face, or they just go miles.
Yeah.
Or I just go far too soft and they just don't go anywhere.
Flop it into the
yeah. I'm actually scared to hitting the ball miles.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
right. That's fine. Let me just have a quick look at your wedge, if you don't mind. I'm just. Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to you about that. We'll see how you get on with this first few shots, and then I'll talk to you about what's happening, what I'm seeing from the actual wedge itself.
Okay.
Be able to explain that a little bit more.
So you just want to have a go?
I just want you to play to that front flag if you can, just for now, and then we're going to focus on what you're actually doing.
As you can see.
Yeah.
Kind of hit the ball. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I know you're supposed to hit behind.
Yeah, which is fine. But what do you think has kind of happened there with that shot? I mean, I can hear it. You must be able to hear something. So when the club's interacting with the sand, what's it done? I think it's bouncing up. It's like hitting the sand and then clipping the edge straight into. It's hitting the sand, then bouncing off the sand, like skipping off the sand, and then hitting into the golf ball. So as it stands right now, if you think about it, just in that one shot, I mean, is that a common thing? That's common. Yeah, I mean, in that one shot, I would be saying you're creating way too much bounce into the shot. Okay. Okay, so obviously bottoming out maybe a little bit early, and then the club is then skipping, and then it's hitting the ball on the way out. Yeah. So we need to allow that club to go into the sand just that little bit more. Okay. Okay. I know this might be a silly question, but is that the club issue with too much bounce or something, or? Not really, but you can manipulate the club to be able to add and take bounce off. Okay, because I just got these when I got fit for my Mizunos 5 years ago. You went with those, they had a free cheap deal, so I got 3 irons, 3 wedges. So. Okay, right, let's keep going then. Yep. Okay, similar. Yep, similar. I mean, the good thing is you are coming nicely into the sand, aren't you? Okay. But the club is obviously bouncing as it goes into the sand and then catching that golf ball halfway up, which is the major issue we've got there. Okay, that was nicer. Bit better, but it was way back, wasn't it? Okay, do me one more. To me, it just didn't get much height. So remember, I play a lot of links. Yeah. They got to get up. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so same again, I'm going to film this one. Okay. When you're ready? Bear with me. Okay, go for it. Yep. A little long? Yeah. And that's my fear, because especially with bunkers that are near greens, they're quite often I'll fly into the next one. The other side. So. Yeah. Okay. Come and have a quick look at this. Right. So, first and foremost, love the setup position. Okay. Okay. So really good setup position. Ball position just inside your left heel. Okay. And then weight. You can see the weight is definitely pushed onto your front foot. Yeah, I'm trying to go a bit forward. Yeah, which is nice, and everything there looks tidy. All of your setups have been pretty good when we talked about golf swing changes. Okay. So taking the club away. Okay, you bring that club up nice and steady. Everything's looking all nice at this stage here. Okay. Still got the weight nicely onto the front side. And then what's going to happen is you're going to want to try and help that ball up. Yeah. You don't need to help that ball, John. All you need to do is impact into the sand in that current position that you're in, and then allow the club to do the work from there.
For me, when it went down, we went down to the bottom. There's that lift again.
Yeah, well, it is.
Same as I get with the irons.
Similar to the irons, but you've got to just make sure that as you come into the shot, that you keep driving forward. You've got to keep driving down into the sand and letting that club do the work for you. You're just trying to help it out the bunker too much, and you're just bottoming out a little early. If we let that go through in slow-mo. Bring that back. So really good positioning, love it, everything's good, just keep going forward, don't fall back on it. Bottoming out way too early, this is where the bounce is kicking in, so you're bottoming out too early. You've got the kind of club doing this. So as soon as you start to lean that handle back, that trail edge there, that bounce effect is really going to kick in, and then you're going to get that kind of what I call like an aquaplaning kind of effect as it comes into the ball. So it's bottoming out too early, so you're catching the sand way back here. You're bottoming out too early, then the club is now on the rise. That bounce is helping it rise up out of the sand, which is what it's designed for. And then as it goes into the shot there, it starts to slide up, and that's where you catch it halfway.
That's interesting what you're saying here, because I've always assumed I strike down the ball, so I actually just hit the ball. I don't think I've hit way behind and it bounces up. Yeah,
I mean, you know, if you look at where if you took my hand as a divot point, okay, and you've got the golf ball here, you're trying to think about like a £5 note, like a £10 note, you know, of how much sand you're looking to try and generate or take out from that point to like a hand's width, should we say. What you're doing is you're bottoming out like back here, and you're catching all of the sand.
So it's happening way before.
It's happening way before. So you know, it just needs to make sure that we push that low point further forward. Is basically what we're trying to achieve. So what I mean by this, just from the camera's point of view, is that what's happening with John is if this is his kind of impact zone, should we say here. He's got bottoming out like over here. So what's happening is he's taking that nice lump of sand coming into the ball, but because he's doing it so early, the club is then wanting to bounce a little bit. Let me grab that club. So as you can see, as that club comes in, the handle's going to lean back, and now he's presenting all of this bounce at the bottom, which ultimately is designed to be able to get that ball or get that club out of the sand quicker. But he's just doing it. If the ball's here, he's doing it too early, so he's bottoming out here, and then he's starting to rise up, and that's where that thin shot's coming into it. Okay, jump in again. So what we want to see is a real conscious effort of feeling as though we're pressing down on the left side, so really feeling like there's a little bit more weight on the front side, and the right foot is just kind of just hovering there. It's kind of keeping just more of a balance point, and you're going to keep that shot moving forward, so we're going to keep driving down into the sand. Okay.
So like I said, very little weight on this one, it's all on this side.
Yeah, just exaggerate it and then keep that weight transferring forward as you go through. Okay, again.
It's still a bit behind, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you think about it, if we look here, this is where your ball was. You've impacted back here. So you're needing to get the impact point there. So good little drill for this, John, is to draw a line in the sand. Okay, so draw the line in the sand where you want it to be. So what I'm going to do now, if you just come around either side of me here, I'm going to set myself up with, this is kind of like my ball position. And what I'm trying to do now is this is like a practice routine that you can kind of think about and work on, is keeping that weight on the front foot, and then as you come through, can you impact just behind that line there? You know, where can you get that? So what's going to happen with you is you come into the shot, you're going to be back here as you come into it. So we got to just practice and work your way along the line, just trying to feel like you can get that club to enter just on that line point from there, just following that along. Okay, so you catch it a little bit heavy there. That's it, and then you get the perfect one along that line. And really what you're wanting to do is just make all your divots kind of like just across from that position there. That makes sense? Let's get you in there.
It's such a shame for me, because I love golf and I love everything about golf. And there's some people who really love playing bunkers. It's like a wonderful challenge on them. You find them very easy.
Well, once you get the knack of it, really, it's not that hard.
Do you think it's also that someone doesn't really practice it?
Well, you generally, as a human nature thing, is that you generally shy away from things that you don't really enjoy doing. So the practice kind of like you lose. You know, think about kids practicing golf. You know, they want to practice the stuff that they're good at because it makes them feel good.
Yep.
What they don't want to practice, like my kids at the moment, you know, they don't want to practice putting. I mean, it's the killing area of their game that kills their game, but they don't want to practice it because it's boring and they don't get the enjoyment from it. So for you, you're fearing it more than anything else. Right, just work your way along this line then.
Okay.
Get yourself into position.
That one okay?
Yeah, fine for this for drill, yeah. So work your way along this line, keep that weight nice and forward, and then you're trying to feel like you're trying to impact ahead of that line if you can. The line, yeah, just on the sort of left side of that line from where we're looking. Okay, good. So you can see there, first point, you've got it back there. So this is actually a good representation of what you're actually doing. So if you're going to bottom out here, that club is only going to start sort of shallowing out early and then thin it as it comes through. Let's really get the conscious effort of trying to focus on pushing it across to that left side. And whatever it is that you have to feel like you do, John, to get across there. So it might feel like you have to really lean towards the target a bit more on the way down. Okay, good. So again, still on this back point here, so it's consistent.
Do you think that's an eye thing as well? Because I've got quite a dominant, I've got one dominant eye, like left is really bad. Am I, you know, people say I line up wrong sometimes. Is that an issue?
I'm not saying that you're not wrong with that. I think that really, if you've got to make a real good conscious push now to get over to that left side of that line. You can do this, it's just really pushing yourself to do. There you go. So already you've moved it. You've come from kind of back here to now you're just behind it, which actually that would have probably been a decent shot.
Got away with it, yeah.
How much effort did that feel like you have to make to get across?
That felt like I really had to concentrate on the whole body position to do that.
That's the important thing. You've got to make, in order to make a change, you've got to really push yourself. Okay, you've got to really push yourself. If you're trying to learn how to do people learning how to do the splits, you've got to push the muscles, you've got to push the stretch down in order to get there. We've got to make that real conscious effort of you doing that. Okay, a little back again. So back into your comfort zone. Okay, keep working along that line.
So the ball is where the line is, yeah? Would that be?
Yeah, well, ball is going to be slightly ahead of the line, so the ball is going to be more in your heel line. Okay. So you've got to really chase it through. Come on, really chase it. And again, keep going along that line. I want 3 in a row where you get it the other side of that line and really chase it through. Good, John.
So.
Nice, that's beautiful, that's perfect. And again, so how much effort are you making to get across there? Beautiful.
Again, we've done this on the irons and everything else. It just feels a bit more easy, more flowing.
Yeah, well,
than when I'm trying to force things backwards.
Yeah. Again, if you're anxious about something,
it's like I'm flicking. It's almost like I'm just flicking it out.
Yeah. If you're anxious about something, you're gonna kind of shy away from it, you know, a little bit. So, you know, with you thinning balls out of bunkers and things like that, that's gonna, you know, the more you do of that, it's gonna make you, you know, even more and more nervous about the shot. So same again. Okay. Again, remember this is your kind of line here. Yep. And you're trying to impact the other side of that, just on the left side of that line. Okay, focus on the line, not the golf ball. Let the ball get in the way, yeah? Keep that weight forward, trust it. Commit. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And look at the impact zone though. If we really look at that, you know, you've connected just on that line point there. Okay, there's a small hint of it just here, but then you've just gone nicely into it and the ball's come out with soft hands almost.
There was like a different sound to it. I mean, I almost felt I caught the ball, but I didn't. No. So there was that little cushion of sand.
And that's what you're looking for with the bunker shot. You're needing that little cushion there. And that's what kind of softens the blow. Yeah. You know, it just takes a bit of the impact away by putting that little bit of sand.
And I know we're not aiming for a particular flag or anything. I'm just happy to get up and out right now in my level.
So just a quick one then. We talk about bounce and things like that. So are you doing anything with the club face itself? Are you doing anything in particular?
I'm trying to open it up a little bit.
Okay.
But I mean, everyone says open them up really wide. I find with wedges, it just feels really strange when you open them up really wide.
Yeah.
So I'm doing kind of what I've been told. People.
And what loft is on that club?
So 60 degree.
Yeah, so there's plenty of loft on there already,
Yeah.
isn't there? So we're going to play this now, and we're going to go a little bit more straight-faced.
Okay.
Okay, and I just want you to do the same thing, but just feel like almost like
It's always felt awkward when you've done that twist around, and then it just kind of feels...
Yeah. Well, you don't. I'll explain about that in just a moment. But just if you want to just almost like feel like the club face is almost closed now.
Okay.
So a lot more straight-faced. Keep that weight forward. Don't think about the face at all. Just think about the shot that we're trying to do.
The stripe and not...
Yeah. Don't worry about the ball. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now you didn't have an issue getting that, but I mean it was a bit heavy.
Yeah.
But you didn't have an issue getting the ball out there, did you?
I didn't think about the ball this time. I was thinking about that place I had to strike.
Yeah. Same again. Keep that club face nice and hooded for me, as in like it feels like it's looking a little bit squarer. If anything, almost a little bit closed. And just let that club work down.
My fault.
Okay.
Yep.
So there you go. There's a prime example of the second shot that you talked about, where you felt like you just fluffed it into the face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're taking that much sand back here, you've got a lot of sand. You've gathered up a lot of sand on the club face before you got into the ball, and there's no power in that because you've gathered up way too much sand, and then obviously it's just flopped it into the face.
I think mentally, although we're discussing this, I've seen those go a decent way.
Yeah.
Not they're on the green. We can't see it on the other camera, but they went a decent way. And in my mind, I almost went, just like get this one over.
No.
Gently.
Again, we can deal with the main focus at the moment is getting the ball out with a decent strike. We're not worried too much about where the result of the ball is at this stage. We can focus on speed control, because ultimately that's what you're going to be doing. You can generate, you can quieten down the softness of the shot or explosion of the shot with loft, with the amount of sand, and also the speed. So there's three different ways in which people play.
Right now, my level is getting out the thing.
Well, at this moment in time, what we're trying to do is build you a bit of confidence that you can get it out every time in and around the green area. What happens after that? Well, we start to work on that.
I'm not bad at putting, I don't think. So if I get it on the green, I'm in with a chance.
Correct. If you can get it up and then 2-putt from where you're at, you're not going to be... It's when you take 3, 4, 5 shots from these positions is where the card wreckers come in and the confidence drops. Same again, really got to get you to focus on that. Okay, we're not worried about where the shot goes, as we talked about. We're just focusing on the actual technique of what we've talked about.
Okay. A little bit behind.
A little bit behind.
I got away with it.
What are you noticing now that you're getting that club face a bit squarer? What are you actually noticing that's happening to the shots, or should we say your impact position? You noticing anything there?
Trying to think. Sorry.
Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. Just fire away, whatever you think. Nothing?
No, can't think.
So what I've done, John, is by asking you, when you open up a club face, what you're doing is by opening that position, you're actually getting, you're increasing the bounce into the club, okay? So opening that face up is going to want to lift that leading edge up a little bit too much, okay? Not too much, but just enough to make it stand a bit proud above the sand. By me closing that face down, you're actually taking bounce off the club, okay? So by you opening a face up from here, okay, where, you're 60 degrees aloft, it's not the biggest lip in the world, but it's enough. You don't need that amount of loft. You don't need 80 degrees of loft coming into the shot. So by me closing that face down, obviously I've maintained decent loft on the club, but I've also taken bounce off the club. Okay. So what you're noticing now is, even though you're catching it a little heavy, that club is staying in the sand for just that little bit longer.
It didn't bounce up in the air so much.
Whereas if you open the face up, you then start to get almost that gliding effect across the sand. Yeah. And that's where that kind of aquaplaning, and that's where you get that sort of explosive energy into the ball. And what we want is a little bit more sand on there. Okay. A little bit more of a cushion as you come into the shot, which is why you feel that there's a slight difference. You're unaware of probably explaining it at the moment, but you're feeling a slight difference in the amount of pressure coming out with the shot, with the amount of sand.
Like I said, on all the shots that have gone well, they've felt easier. They've not felt like they had been pushed right into the sand and forced out. Yeah, because the club is, you're allowing the club to do the work. Right. Whereas before you've had the club kind of, it's bouncing a lot, there's a lot of contact of club face and ball, you want that cushion of the sand. Literally goes through the club, because I always feel I'm actually hitting the ball, but I'm hitting the ball after I hit the sand. What we're still getting is too much
impact back here. So we're still looking to more of a crispy, kind of strike with. I'm
not obviously I mean, direction-wise, they're going all pretty straight. I'm also assuming that when you open up, would you have to necessarily adjust?
You'd have to adjust.
This? Yeah.
You have to adjust. So again, keep that impact position. Make sure the focus is ahead. Go on, really keep ahead. Keep ahead. Keep ahead. Good.
Oh, that's Beautiful. The best one. Yeah. Go on, go in.
Get in. That's a lovely golf shot.
That's the one that makes you think I'll go home now, and I love it.
But look at it. Let's assess what's actually happened here. Okay. Number one, we've got that strike position just a little behind that line, but pretty good. By the time it actually gets into its low point, you got to look at where the low point is. It's right in the centre of that divot, where you can see it's gone exactly where the ball was. Exactly where the ball was, and you can also see that you've really got down nice and deep as you've come through, and that's just you taking the bounce off the club.
Okay.
So that is you allowing that club to do the work for you as it kind of comes through, and there's your kind of, there's your £10 note kind of thing in there, and that's all you're trying to achieve. It's not, it's once you get a little bit of, you can see in the joy in your face as it comes out, and the fact that you're like hunting down the whole of the shot.
Because I think, hang on, and it wasn't about the ending; it was about the height that he got.
Correct, and you have less loft on the club because
you've not that much effort.
With no effort, because correct.
Yeah.
Same again. But you've got to really focus on that drive into the shot from there.
Bit behind, but
again, look at it bounce.
It's still because that less bounce is going through easier.
Correct. You heard that noise?
Yeah.
Little clonking noise.
Yeah.
And can you see the difference now in, look how much you've impacted here, but you've almost made like a little bit of a streak here.
It's just a flat streak all the way along where that club just literally just skimmed along.
Exactly, but that means that, to me, that means that you've got a little bit too much bounce involved, which has created almost like a bit of a skid mark as it kind of comes through there. Okay, what we want to see is a little bit more ruffled.
Okay.
Because if you get the ruffled, it means that the leading edge is kind of doing all the work.
Go through it a little bit.
Exactly right. Exactly
Crinkle it up.
right. Exactly right. Yeah. Just like the shot prior to that one.
Yep.
Again, practicing with this little line. It's just it's a visual point for you. Your best shot so far of where you've really been conscious to make that effort of really driving after the shot. Don't fall back. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my body went that way, and everything went that way and then up, and so did the ball.
How's that?
Well, it's a little bit mind-boggling because I've had the odd lesson before with different people, off camera, and it's always been about opening that club face, and obviously going forward that's fine.
Yeah.
But it just feels so strange in my hand that I can't kind of manipulate this at all.
Yeah.
So it never works.
Yeah, and
but straightening it up.
The thing with it, okay, is that, I mean, I know you don't use Vokey wedges, but I had the amazing opportunity to spend a morning with Bob Vokey, okay, when I was out in the States, and when he talks about a club, he doesn't talk about the face or the loft or anything like that. He's focusing on the bounce of the club all the time. He's focusing on what's happening under the ball. What's happening with that club? How does that interact with the ground? And how's that ground and club going to work together to create the shot that you want to create?
That's the most important bit.
Well, it's the most important bit, absolutely right. And what you've been focusing so much on is obviously result, but then like the elevation of the ball and things like that, you've not really had the focal point of, well, what's happening in the ground? Yeah. Which is the most important
Never even
part.
Thought about the bounce situation on them.
And opening up the club face, closing the club face down, and each player will be slightly different. Each player will need to be, we could have another lesson with somebody else on the golf course now and be doing this, and they'll have to go the reverse. So they might be going too deep into the sand, or they've got a wedge that's got not enough bounce on it, or whatever it is, which is, you talk about having a lovely cheap set of wedges because you bought the irons and things like that. I
got the Mizuno wedges because they were blue.
Yeah, okay, well there you go. But
colourful.
But actually, the most important factor with any, out of all the clubs really, apart from driver and things like that, but wedges are really important. They've got to become, they're your scoring clubs. They're your clubs that you need to become really together with them. You've got to know what these clubs do for you and what they're capable of.
Sure.
And I think by you doing tricks and drills like this, it's going to give you a better understanding of how the club actually works.
Absolutely.
Best for you.
I will say, I've had these a long time now, and we know I still struggle a bit with the short game, etc. We'll do a lesson of that at some point. I'm just not confident with them. Like we've said about the Vokies, I'm not confident with the shape. They're a little bit too triangular for me, just in my own mind.
That comes down to the decision of the individual as to right.
I never knew when I got these. I just started golf, so I've got to get some wedges. They're rough and deal. I took them.
As it stands right now, I mean, based on what you're doing here now, like the wedges, like take the shape and the look and all those sorts of things away from it, because that's a personal preference to you. These wedges are going to work absolutely fine for you. No dramas. I don't want to see you going out spending loads of money on new wedges. I want you to just focus on these techniques rather than
technique right.
Because you can treat yourself to some new wedges when you're getting it nice and close to the flag.
When you enjoy the game more.
Exactly right.
When you enjoy that part of the game more.
Exactly right.
Maybe that's what I'll do, a bit of a treat. Okay.
Go on, really focus on that weight going forward. Chase it.
That just...
Okay, where's your divot?
Slightly behind the line.
Yeah, too far behind the line again. So
it just felt like I caught the ball, but it was again getting away with.
Yep.
And I don't mind getting away with at my level.
No, it's fine.
They're out.
Yeah. Conscious effort, the weight forward.
Again, weight forward, but my brain is still going a little bit back. But at least I'm understanding that now. Yeah,
and the good thing is, just with the adjustment that we've made with the club itself, at least the club is working with you a bit now. Because once you've had it closed down, even if you do go a little bit behind the ball...
It's a bit more forgiving.
Well, what's happening is the bounce isn't kicking in so much, and therefore the club is allowed to stay in the sand for a bit longer, and therefore it's coming out with a bit of cushion. Whereas before, by opening the face up, you're making that bounce like pop the ball a bit more. So it's going into the sand, coming out of the sand quicker, which is where you're leaving yourself those thinny ones across the park. But at least, talk about good, bad one. At least by now having that face just that little bit closed, allowing that bounce to go in, or that leading edge to go into the sand, it's just coming out just that little bit softer. So the bad one is not so bad.
I'd just like to say thank you very much to you and other PJ pros for being patient with high handicappers, because it's not going to be perfect every time. You're going to say do that, and it's going to go wrong quite a lot.
The game is a game of patience, isn't it? Keep that weight forward. Chase it forward. Again, look at that though. I mean, yes, again, slightly heavy.
Little bad, not as bad as the last one, but...
Exactly, but it's come out with a nice bit of cushion.
Yeah.
Nice bit of cushion, and again, that's just you using the club to your, to what it's supposed to design to do.
I still can't work out why mentally I'm still trying to adjust slightly back.
No,
that'll come.
And to me, you're reacting to the golf ball now rather than the line. So what we then do is we go, right, okay, that's fine. If we keep hitting back behind the line, let's just go through that little drill again.
Okay.
Go through it, do it 3 or 4 times, make sure you get that impact position where you want it 3 or 4 times, and then you can go ahead and hit some more shots. Beautiful, John. Look at the difference there.
No thought of the ball, where I'm thinking that ball's too close. Like, there's the line, that ball's too close. If I do that, I'm going to hit the ball again.
Don't worry. You remember, the reason why you've been hitting the ball before is because it's been hitting here and bouncing into it. Yeah. You've not been going thinning into the ball.
No, which is what I've always thought I've done. Always thought I've just whacked the top of the ball or right into the ball and it's gone.
Yeah. Good, and again, you're going to get away with that, even though it's half an inch behind that line. It's still, the low point is right under where the ball would be. Okay, give me one more.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Again, pretty much on the line and
straight in then.
Okay.
Okay, don't think about anything other than that, trying to connect into that line or just ahead of that line. Again, look at it.
Yeah.
And now
again, that was a getaway one, but close enough.
Correct. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not thinking of the ball now. And I think that's the key part at the moment.
And this is, we talk about the wedges and opening and closing faces. This is basic stuff that we're working on. This is not really, by opening faces up and working on speed and loft and, you know, the amount of bounce that you need for certain shots. Sure. You know, that's sort of the advanced stuff that you're going to start working on.
It's a bit like when we did the driver and the iron.
Yeah.
That's your basics, get that better, and then we'll fine tune other bits.
Correct, because you need to build confidence in this.
Yeah.
If you do this, you know, 8 out of 10 times now, you're going to be so much more confident than what you would be. You're going to get the odd one.
Of course,
you're going to get the odd
bunkers.
one. Correct.
This just feels so much easier now, not having to...
Yeah, keep it square. Keep everything square. Keep that weight forward, chase the ball, chase the ball. Good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. I'm actually enjoying that now.
Well, you're starting to smile a bit more with it, which means that your confidence is coming back with it. Keep that weight forward. Remember, chase the ball. Don't fall back on it, chase it through. Best one today.
Best one today.
Cracking shot. Absolutely fantastic. Caught it
want
just
to finish
a smidgen
now,
behind.
That's the best one today, I'm telling you.
No, it is. It's a great shot. And really what the sort of, and this is obviously the technique that I want you to focus on. We're not talking about technique with where the club is or anything along those lines. It's purely about where are you impacting the sand, how is the club going to work for you. And the only thing that I would add on to all of this is obviously we're in a bunker at the moment that is a practice bunker, and there's not massive amounts of sand in it. Okay. When you get into deep kind of, I call them resort bunkers, where you get lots of sand, then that's when you need that bounce to work for you. Okay. And you can open the club up a little bit, but probably not opening up a 60 is the way forward. Maybe opening up your 54 or 56.
I've got a 55 I never put in the bag because it's always been 50 for pitching and chipping, and then a 60 to get out the bunkers.
For me, working with, if you're ever going to go into a bunker with lots of sand, pick out a club with maybe a little less loft, and then you can start to feel like you can just open it up a little bit. So all you're going to do in that situation is just open yourself up, as in move your body around to the left-hand side a fraction, open that club face up to compensate for the fact that you've got the club pointing over to the right-hand side.
Just go that direction,
But all you're going to do is by taking that club and just opening it up, you're going to put on there at 60 degrees of loft or even more. But what you're going to do is just get that bounce working. Yeah. And there's the combination of lots of loft, but with the bounce, and that's going to help you. And don't try and do anything different. Just swing the club the same way, impact it in the same position, just allow that bounce and allow that club to do the kind of work for you. It seems to
me like almost everything in golf. Don't change things, just always do the same thing. Repetition works predominantly for most shots in golf.
Yeah, and I think, the more you practice and the more confident you get with certain shots, then you can move into the advanced stuff. The problem with this game a lot of the time is that when we watch the TV and we watch good players, and you know, they're always manipulating because they've got to a level where they can manipulate because they've gone past almost like the basic stuff.
And the commentators are telling you, they're just about to manipulate this.
Yes, correct. All of these sorts of things, which tells you as a golfer or beginner golfer or whatever standard of golfer you're at, is that you need to do this and you need to do that. Whereas actually, no. Like, let's simplify it to start with. There will be times where you need to manipulate a shot when you're under trees or you're going round a tree or around a bunker or whatever it is that you're doing. But for the most part, let's not play Sevy golf. Yeah. You know, let's play standard golf. Let's say basic golf. Let's go, you know, fairways and greens, and let's get the ball up.
And that will drop my handicap down to a reasonable level.
100%. Because it's keeping it at basics is absolutely the way forward, building confidence, and then you can advance on from there.
Perfect.
Really important.
So I think that's all we need to do today.
Well, I need
certainly on the film.
Correct, because at the end of the day, you know, you're hitting all the shots that we want you to hit. You're getting it out of the bunker. You're getting it. You know, nothing's in the bunker now. We're getting it out of the bunker. We're hitting the green. And if we look at it,
predominantly,
you've got a lovely little line.
A lovely little line of balls. Yeah.
And then we can advance on that at a later date. Lovely. Get that bit right.
Thank you very much, Dan.
My pleasure as always.
So, what did I learn today? I learned that bunkers are not as scary as they make out. I've learned that the bounce is a tremendous issue that I've got to deal with. And I've learned to just get some more practice in and just be confident, because the last few shots, we did a couple off camera at the end as well. I was literally laughing. It's become a giggle to actually get the ball out and just land them in the right place. So thank you very much to Dan Hendriksen today for allow me to come to Churston and film our lesson. And if you've not subscribed to Dan's channels, please do. I'll make sure the details at the bottom of the description. But you are a star, Dan, and you're very good on camera as well, mate. I love him to bits. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, do all those things. Come and join my adventure in golf. I'm getting quite emotional, Dan. Getting quite emotional. Come and join my adventure in golf wherever I take me. Oh, see, can't even say it. Come and join my adventure in golf wherever they take me. Whether they be in Cornwall, Devon, or elsewhere. And they might even be in a bunker from time to time. Bye, Dan. Bye, everybody.